If you're in India and if you can wake up at 5 a.m. on the 18th of April, or if you're free at around 7:30 p.m. on that day, I've got something for you. 4 planets, that's Mars, Mercury, Saturn and Neptune, are all gathering in the sky this week, appearing together in a magnificent planetary alignment. Now, it begins from today till the 23rd of April, but astronomers say that the best view would be between 18th and 20th of April. In fact, they say that on the 20th of April, Saturn, Mars and Mercury will appear so close together that you can cover all 3 with 3 fingers held at an arm's length. And for those of you who can't wake up early, don't worry, the planets have you covered as well. Here's what's expected on the evening of 18th of April. A crescent moon will appear right next to Venus in the western sky just after sunset. Let me also tell you why this is significant. A planetary alignment essentially happens because all the planets in our solar system travel around the sun on roughly the same flat plane. And when multiple planets are on the same side of the sun at the same time, they look crowded in one corner of the sky when we look up from Earth, even though they actually aren't really lined up in space. Now, Mercury will be the brightest and the easiest one to spot. Saturn might disappear in the morning glow near the horizon. But among all the 4 planets, Neptune is the one that is the faintest in appearance. And so you will need binoculars or some sort of small telescope to spot it. To view this spectacle in India, you should start looking about 30 minutes before sunrise so you can spot the planets in the ideal window between 5 a.m. and 5:50 a.m. IST. Southern Indian cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kochi will have a marginally better view than northern cities like Delhi, Chandigarh or Lucknow because they sit closer to the equator and the planets will appear slightly higher above the horizon from there. So if you're interested in space, all you need to do is step outside. Now, astrologers in India say that this mix of the planetary movements may lead to sudden and necessary life shifts for some. After decades of digital adoption, Sweden is now in the process of changing the way young children are now being educated in classrooms. The Swedish government has now launched a major push to bring back textbooks, notebooks and handwriting, aiming to tackle falling literacy levels among students and refocus on how young children read, write and concentrate. Since late 2000s, remember, laptops and tablets had become a daily part of school life across Sweden. And by 2015, most high school students had their own digital devices. In fact, even preschools introduced tablets into early learning as recently as 2019. Swedish authorities now believe that fewer screens can help students focus better, build stronger reading habits, and improve writing skills. Some changes have already been introduced in the education system of the country. Preschools are no longer required to use digital tools. Tablets are being kept away from very young children. And later this year, mobile phones are being planned to be banned across schools, even for educational purposes. Swedish officials are also planning a new curriculum that will rely heavily on physical textbooks by 2028. Health experts say that excessive screen exposure can distract children and it can affect how they process information. Some studies even suggest that it may impact brain development at an early age. Similar such reversing digital-first policies are also being implemented or at least discussed in countries like Finland, Denmark and the Netherlands. A recent study on education in Sweden linked heavy device use in classrooms to poorer academic outcomes in mathematics. Few experts, though, warn that limiting digital exposure could also leave Swedish students less prepared for a technology-driven future. So as Sweden redraws its education model, the big question remains, can going back to physical books, paper and pens better prepare children for tomorrow? This one's for all literature students and lovers of books. A remarkable discovery in a London archive is reshaping what we know about the final years of William Shakespeare. For centuries, historians knew that Shakespeare owned a property in Blackfriars, which is one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in early 17th century London. But a chance discovery in a London archive has now enabled scholars to pinpoint the exact location of William Shakespeare's London home for the first time. The finding made by Professor Lucy Munro, who is a scholar of Shakespeare and early modern literature at King's College in London, confirmed the new details about the property where he lived in his final days. According to Professor Munro, a recent discovered, in fact, an architectural plan found in a London archive provided the breakthrough. When compared with existing historical descriptions, the document matched the property details with precision.
So we know that he has a sort of continuing professional and financial investment in the Blackfriars in this period in London. What we don't know is quite how much time he spent in this house. Kind of, did he buy it for himself? Did he buy it as a rental opportunity? You know, was he always planning to lease it out? So we know that he was leasing it out when he died in 1616. But of course, that's not necessarily what the situation was or what he had planned in 1613. And we also know from documents that were uncovered in the late 18th and 19th century that when he bought it sort of unencumbered.
Now, the discovery also paints a picture of Shakespeare's condition before his death. It suggests more established presence in London than previously assumed. And the timing of this discovery is important. It points to the year 1613. In this year, the Globe Theatre, where many of Shakespeare's plays were first performed, was destroyed by the fire in London. And in this same year, he had purchased the Blackfriars property. Many believe that after this event, Shakespeare stepped away from London and retired to Stratford-upon-Avon. But this new evidence challenges that view. The spy war between Iran and Israel continues to intensify. The covert operations between the two countries is now spilling into arrests, counter-arrests, and a widening intelligence crackdown on both sides. Iran state media reports that 4 individuals suspected of working for Israeli spy agency Mossad were arrested in the country's northern Gilan province. According to a statement by Iran's Revolutionary Guards, the accused allegedly transmitted images and locations of sensitive military and security sites to Israeli handlers over the internet. Iranian authorities say that they have now transferred the suspects to the judicial system for further proceedings. This development comes against the backdrop of escalating rhetoric over covert operations. Mossad chief David Barnea had said clandestine efforts aimed at toppling Iran's regime will continue, perhaps a sign that this shadow war is far from over. On the other hand, and on the other end, is the side of this espionage battle, Israeli security agencies who've charged a woman from Nazareth with spying for Iran. Now, according to a joint statement by the Israeli police and the Shin Bet, she allegedly filmed sensitive locations, including the Haifa oil refinery, and shared intelligence with a foreign agent. Her detention reportedly took place in March this year during the 5-week war that began on the 28th of February. The oil refinery in Haifa, which is Israel's largest oil processing facility, produces about half of the country's domestic fuel supplies, and it was struck by Iran on several occasions during the war. Israeli officials also claim that Israel says that the resident carried out multiple assignments since October last year, receiving hundreds of dollars in cryptocurrency in return. Israeli authorities allege that she documented Israeli military bases and passed on the details about a former security official as well. Now, Israel's security agencies say that they have arrested over 50 suspected Iranian operatives in around 40 publicly known cases over the past 2 years. In response, Israeli police are reportedly moving to establish a dedicated Iran espionage investigations unit. The growing threat has also led to the opening of a new wing at a prison in Haifa for those accused of such crimes. Despite the surge in such arrests, only one conviction has been secured so far, with most cases still under judicial review, underscoring how this high-stakes spy war continues to unfold in real time. The Lion of Ladakh has fallen silent. Kargil hero Colonel Sonam Wangchuk has passed away. He was 61. The man who led India's first major victory in the 1999 war is being farewelled with honor. From army ranks to Ladakh streets, thousands have gathered to salute a legend.